Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Yena Swayam Rupa Yam Radhe Swapadam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sarvajatam Sarvana Nandam Sadvaivam Sadhutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pujari Nirvishesha Shundravadi Pashanti Shantari Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurukishya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagate Gopesha Rukha Shri Radha Kanta Namaste Akanta Gaurangi Shri Navishwari Shamandaste Namani Nayachara Himasara Nyaya Brahma Balabhadra Subhadra Navijnakaya Devana Vachakadurugashya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Aminam Bhavebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda He Advaita Gadadhara Sari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Okam Kariti Vasham Mangaiti Yati Patam Shri Guru Devatam Page 67. Indriyanam Himcharatam Yanmano Anuvidiyate Tadasya Harati Pratna Vayurnavam Nivamasi. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. Unless all of the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, even one of them engaged in sense gratification can deviate the devotee from the path of transcendental advancement. As mentioned in the life of Maharaja Ambarish, all of the senses must be engaged in Krishna consciousness, for that is the correct technique of focusing, controlling the mind. Yes, sir. mirror does this, municipality will come and take government dustbin every day, but it will start from 7th onwards. Just a few verses before, in text 260, we are talking about Asita. There is a similar verse which also talks about that the senses are so strong and impetus over Arjuna that they forcibly carry away the mind, even of a man of discretion, who is endeavoring to control them. And here in 67 is a similar verse. When it say, and just like a strong wind sweeps away the boat on the water, even one of the Roman senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. The difference is in these two verses of focus. 260, the focus is that senses have the potentiality to drag away the mind. That's what 260 is talking all about. And here in 267, the focus is that wherever the mind gets involved, the mind has the potentiality to drive away the intelligence. So the highlight is there here on the intelligence getting switched off because of the influence of the mind. So the principle is that senses in contact with sense objects becomes uncontrollable. Just like when there is electricity all around, electric circuitry all around, and the whole setup is wet. When the whole setup is wet, current will be there everywhere. Anywhere we touch, we get a shock. If you touch on the plug point, you're getting a shock. If you touch here, then you get a shock. So senses with sense objects, the communion of the senses and the sense objects is just like a wet circuitry situation. Anywhere we touch after that, we get a shock. We have to touch after that. So we get a shock actually, and therefore this contact is dangerous. Just like water and circuitry wires is a dangerous contact. Similarly, senses and sense object is a dangerous contact. So the principle is that whenever senses are in communion with the sense objects for a prolonged period of time, then the mind gets involved. That is the principle. Just like sometimes a very nice person but then we don't have so much time. So we gobble it up and move on. So in that case, we will see that it doesn't make much difference to our lives. But sometimes, one is there and the prasad is there, good feast is there, and we allow a lot of time to get mixed into the whole game. Then what happens is that one's attraction becomes much more pronounced, and one is very much likely to overeat on that day because one is only that the mind has got involved in the whole game. Because the senses and the sense objects, the contact has become prolonged. And then the point is that when the mind gets involved, the intelligence is turned off. So, how to protect oneself from this predicament? Mind requires real engagements. Mind cannot be a standalone unit, situated in some isolation, suspended in some vacuum. That is not possible actually. So therefore, if there is no plan for sufficient engagements of the mind, naturally the pull of the senses will become the most prominent drive. It drives the mind, and then the drive of the mind becomes the most prominent drive for the intelligence, and when the intelligence is driven off, the soul is driven off. So therefore one needs to understand that mind requires real engagements. So therefore as a sadhaka, one needs to plan very strong engagements, positive engagements for the mind. Otherwise, by default, the mind will harp on sensual arguments. Because that is the signal which the senses always keep moving. And one thing is there, that the senses never stop giving the signals. If you read 260 Prabhupada quotes about Yamunacharya, so why the example of Yamunacharya is good? The example of Sripad Yamunacharya very prominently teaches a lesson. Or what Srila Yamunacharya is talking about in that beautiful verse of Yadavati Mamachet Krishna. So Sripad Yamunacharya in this verse is teaching a very important lesson. And the lesson is that the senses never stop their signal. No matter who the person is, no matter how much stably situated the person is, the senses are not going to stop their signals actually. But so signals cannot be changed, but what can be changed is signal processing. How the signals have to be processed can be changed actually. And that is the technology which is sadhaka is to learn. Signal processing. So for that, the proclivity of the mind has to change actually. Because if the mind's flow is set in the right direction, then intelligence is blossoming. And that is a very stable position. In that case, the signals of the senses, which may be on a sensual domain, get processed in a proper fashion. And the result are not erroneous. therefore, actually, the properties of the mind, the characteristics of the mind, are the three functions of mind, prominent functions, are thinking, feeling and willing. And all of these require avenues for engagement actually. Very important. So by default what happens is that a person always keeps thinking about the negative in others, the negative in situations. That's the default signal to system responses. By default you will see a person always keeps willing about how to supersede others, how to establish one's prowess and caliber and so on. And similarly, one always keeps willing about how to grab the sensual avenues within the framework of Krishna consciousness. So that's how by default our thinking, feeling and willing get utilized actually. For a person who is always meditating on the wrongs of others, the shortcomings of others, the situations and so on. A person is always feeling for superseding. A person is always willing towards sensual avenues, gratification of sensual avenues. So here one needs control. Here one needs channelization. Thinking, feeling, willing have to be utilized in the service of the Lord. It is so amazing to see that. Actually, we will see that the whole material world is set in such a way that if one wants to utilize his thinking, feeling and willing, there is, in a proper direction, there is unlimited scope for that. This kind of scope is not possible even in Brahman, and therefore people fall down from there. Because the proper channelization is not there. Here we see material world as a place. When I say, for example, if we want to focus or look at the mission of the Lord, okay, there is a mission of the Lord, and Krishna is giving us opportunity to be an instrument in the mission of the Lord. So now if we say, take this as a problem statement, and if we say, okay, let us try to channelize thinking, feeling, willing in this direction, then we see there is unlimited scope actually. Unlimited scope. For example, say if we say, okay, we want to preach, I'll help spread the mission of the Lord. So there is unlimited scope of preaching. That should be the thought process of a devotee. That yes, how can more and more people come to Krishna consciousness? How can he help more and more people, reach out to more and more people? Connect to Krishna consciousness. And then the people who are connected to Krishna consciousness, how can we help them getting more and more connected to Krishna? And more taking steps towards Krishna. This should be the thought process of a devotee. Thinking. This should be the thought process. Similarly, feelings. Similarly, feelings actually. Feelings we see actually the whole process of abhidaya involves a lot of feelings actually. In fact, consciousness, we say consciousness flow is very much dependent on feelings flow actually. Like we talk about, okay, in Mangalarati, we should be conscious of the prayers which we are reciting. So conscious means what? The feelings are flowing. Your feelings are involved in that. That means you are conscious actually. Dry observation is not called as consciousness. Just like, for example, one will be standing in the balcony and one will be talking to another devotee and he's seeing whatever is happening on the road down, because that's visible. But that is like seen unseen. Because anything happens, because it's just a dry observation, and one's consciousness is not inward. So consciousness gets involved means feelings get involved actually. And that is why
thinking sambandha, the dry thinking is sambandha established.
The dry thinking is not sambandha also. We will see that actually the riveting or the hooking only happens when this thinking feeling get involved actually. That is our only way of understanding that one has become conscious of the fact. Just like sometimes, say for example, so you will see basically because when we are absent-minded, just observations are going on. So you are seeing some things in the background, but if something is going wrong, we will not be able to catch it or we will not be bothered about it also. Because feelings are involved. Feelings are not involved actually. So therefore, Shastras are teaching us what? Shastras are teaching us how to involve feelings. Because what we call as prayers is an exercise how to involve feelings. What we call as Vaishnava songs is an exercise how to involve feelings. What we call as introspection means how to involve feelings. So Shastras are always pointing out towards involvement of feelings actually. When we offer prayers to the Lord, it is feelings getting involved. When you meditate on the meaning of the prayers which are given by the acharyas, it's the feelings which are getting involved actually. So when we say analyze every situation in terms of service attitude, feelings get involved. Okay, other devotees, what are their needs? Can I mold myself a little bit to help other devotees? So feelings get involved actually. And if you see that in this fashion, there is unlimited scope for feelings to get involved actually.
Is there a goal also? Religion is also, is there a goal also? Stop at feeling after the
Yes. Yes. So willing is in terms of goals. Willing is in terms of goals. So willing is in terms of goals actually. So this thinking, feeling, willing is a very powerful package actually. And that is what constitutes our mind. Willing is goals actually. I want to offer this for Krishna. We want to offer this to the Vaishnavas. We want to offer this to the Lord. It's willing. So just like, say for example, Prabhupada in the Juhu land, and then Prabhupada is there in Bombay and Prabhupada is wondering how preaching should get, expanded here. How Krishna Masya has to get expanded here. Thinking. You have to invite Krishna here. Thinking. Then Prabhupada brought Sri Radharas Bihari. And Sri Radharas Bihari was staying under a tin shade, and Prabhupada said, okay, here is the land, And then, okay, we will serve, our life should be centered around Sri Radharas Bihari. The feelings get involved. And then Prabhupada said, okay, When feelings become intense, Prabhupada said, okay, this here I will offer you a very beautiful thing. Willing. That's willing, actually. And then and then so many repercussions. Because thinking, feeling and willing got so powerfully involved, we see it became a very beautiful offering. And it created a lot of absorption for all the Vaishnavas, or all so many devotees mentioned in this whole project actually. So thinking, feeling and willing actually. So now we can will, so willing also is very powerful. There is unlimited scope in terms of willing as well. Why? Because material world itself is unlimited. No? So therefore, because material world itself is unlimited, there is an unlimited scope of offering unlimited things to Krishna. Because material world itself is unlimited. What is your spiritual world? See, now if you contrast this to materialistic consciousness, a materialistic consciousness will try to grab the unlimited. And because the spirit soul, jiva soul is limited, it does not have the capacity to process the unlimited actually. And therefore people get nervous breakdowns and people get shutdowns, Because there is a very limited process, capacity to handle. So if we have to handle everything to ourselves, we have to hold on everything to ourselves, it becomes a very miserable predicament. Because so much of variations, so much of fluctuations, so much of variegatedness, unlimited variations, unlimited fluctuations, unlimited, one cannot handle actually. Just like even a simple activity of reading, if 4, 5, 6, 10 preparations are given, one can, Actually, if only 2 preparations are there, life is so peaceful, Okay, today's lunch is what? Okay, there are 3 chapatis for you and some sabji for you. Fine. Life is so peaceful, drink some water to be peaceful, 4 items, fine, 6, 7 items, life is really miserable. Ye jada khao ya wo jada khao, 15 items, life is really miserable actually. In one sense. Because there are so many items and you feel appeal, this is also appealing, that is also appealing, But then, you eat this little bit more, then you cannot eat that more, So it becomes a problem actually. And then you try to, squeeze in both, stomach upset for 3 days, So it becomes difficult. Suppose 55 items, it becomes impossible. 100 items becomes impossible. They cannot dream also, It leads to distress, छोड़ दो नहीं होने वाला है. It's that, So it becomes very difficult actually. So we understand that on a materialistic drive, when we access the unlimited and try to process and hold on to the unlimited, we become miserable actually. But we cannot access and hold on or grab on to the unlimited, but we can offer the unlimited. Please try to understand. It's an important point here, because the point is that we have to understand our make. What is my make? What are my body systems, my mental systems, my intellectual systems made for? What is its functionality? What is its strength? What is its weakness? This is important for a sadhaka to understand. This is important for every living entity to understand rather actually. Just like, say for example, a goods carrier or a vehicle. Say a 407 truck or 709 truck and so on, or a Tata Ace. So Tata Ace has a limited capacity. A 407 has its own limited capacity, which is a little bit bigger than Tata Ace. And 709 has a limited capacity, which is a little bigger than 407. So now, okay, let us say 407. Now 407 is something like one room, one small, so 7 by 10, or I think that will be the size of that. So it has limited capacity. So it can hold some amount of luggage. Now if the vehicle identifies himself as being a carrier, I am a carrier. I pick things from here, and whatever I pick up, I upload it here, I go there and download. Further stocks, I come back, upload, go there and download. Further stocks, go there and download. So the carrier is limited, but if the identification or zoom is on the carrier mentality, we will see a truck is limited actually. It can hold limited amount of things inside. But the point is that it can transfer unlimited things. In one shot, a limited transfer. But in the next trip, again one limited transfer. Again one limited transfer. In a whole day, huge amount of transfer. In a whole year, almost unlimited transfer. Isn't it? The statistic starts becoming unlimited. So limited make, if it is a carrier mentality, can process and handle unlimited things. And that's what happens. You see, when preaching, you say, okay, preaching. Okay, in the formative years of Krishna consciousness, a lot of focus, 4 years, 5 years, okay. This is the set of people whom I am helping. And then they become mature, people pass on, move on to further stages in life. And you take another set and help them. 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 So we are carriers actually. At one point of time we can just hold a limited amount of things inside. At one point of time we can just hold a limited amount of, we can do a limited amount of processing inside. But then we keep processing and offering the results to Krishna, and we become a carrier. And that way we can get in touch with unlimited things actually, unlimited people actually. In due course of time, we remain steadfast. In the contrast, the materialistic mentality is grabbing and holding on mentality. So now comes the problem, the grabbing and holding on mentality. Because now, say, suppose a truck says, no, whatever goes inside will never come out. You can put it inside, but it becomes my property. So then there is a deadlock situation. But how much you can put inside? How much you can put inside actually? Very soon the truck is filled up. And then what one has to do, they try to squeeze in, and one tries to squeeze in, whatever is there inside also gets pulverized and crushed, And it will overflow. When it overflows, other people get attracted, Just like honey, it will overflow, the bees will get attracted, And others start grabbing, But they not only grab what is outside, they grab what is inside also, And whatever remains deep down inside gets pulverized, person is miserable. So materialistic mentality, a person is always miserable. Because it is a limited, the box limited, trying to grab the unlimited actually. So that is not our make actually. A box limited, trying to grab the unlimited is not our make. Our make is different. Our make is, we are a carrier. A carrier limited can handle the unlimited and keep off. This carrier mentality is called as Shanagati. So Shanagati is the process, okay, for the mission of the Lord, what is the need? This is the need, let me flow in that direction. I pick up things there, and then according to the need, I drop it there, And then comes, okay, what is the need now? What is the requirement now? That's a carrier mentality. The mentality of Shanagati. So how the limited relates to the unlimited is a science which needs to be learned. So what is called as the balance vector or the balance pointer of life, or time management or life management, self-management, also requires understanding of this science actually. the limited relating with the unlimited actually. If that relationship and connection and connectivity and proclivity is not proper, it leads to so many turmoils in life actually. So the grabbing on mentality will not work actually. What will work is carrier mentality. Suppose, now okay, the problem statement is okay, there are unlimited people. I want to control unlimited people. Absolutely miserable one will become. One will be beaten up so badly, none of his bones will remain, no? Everything will be crushed and pulverized. It was unlimited actually. And because the other side is unlimited, if the connectivity is wrong, and if the current circuitry flows in reverse directions, then it is unlimited beating coming up from the other side. So that side is limited. Like if we want to create a nuisance in the world, say for example, we are limited, accessing the unlimited, we can only create a limited nuisance actually. But we have to understand the other side is unlimited. If from that side some negative conduction or some beating conduction starts taking place, it's unlimited beating coming that way. So this has to be understood. Therefore, if the pointer comes that okay, I want to control unlimited people, that's impossible. We will not be allowed access on it. People will smash us off, But if the pointer comes, okay, I want to serve the unlimited people, then you will say, okay, doors are open. But we cannot serve unlimited people unlimitedly. So we have a limited capacity of offering limited service. So what we do? We offer a limited service to a limited number of people. And then, when that service is offered, then we can again offer a limited service to the same set of people, another set of people, it varies. But we can always do a limited thing for a limited scope. That is to be understood. So therefore mind requires real ingredients. And in this way we see that material world is such a beautiful place where one can get complete absorption because the field is unlimited. So if that does not take place, then the mind will flow in dangerous directions. The mind will flow in dangerous directions. So therefore we see Prabhupada, in the previous purport you will see Prabhupada makes a very interesting point. Prabhupada is speaking that actually disturbance in life is due to want of a goal, an ultimate goal. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal. So we will see that, so therefore when there is lack of goal in life, then one is completely confused, then one is flowing with the wind, and the wind is always restless. And therefore one is disturbed actually. Because he is being swept off here, there, everywhere. So now this is a need actually, want of an ultimate goal. And if we try to understand, this is a need in the mind. Thinking, feeling and willing. They all need proper pointers. So we need a goal actually. A goal creates a focus. As he was relating goal to pravajana and the focus to feelings to abhidaya, and thinking is sambandha, what is the practical steps? So this needs to be there actually. We will see whenever you have one has a solid goal, it leads to so much of focus and absorption. Just like say for example, people choose a goal, okay, I want to go to JEE, I want to crack JEE. That becomes the goal, and then feelings. Very nice, very nice. Look through the science, I'll sit to the laptop. I'll be also working like a high-tech buddy, feelings start flowing in. And then it channelizes activities. You see, many people stop sense gratification, in class 11, 12 actually. Why? Because the thinking, feeling and willing has got a very powerful hook. Many people very attached to movies, many people very attached to many sensual avenues, but at this phase, 2 years, 3 years, one is just completely forgets it. Because that goal has completely occupied the mind. And therefore, because of that, there is no scope now for senses to pass on the restless signals actually. But there is no scope on it. So when it is possible for a material goal, now people get absorbed. It is very much possible for small spiritual goals which we can take as our first solution. And that goal in itself actually. Therefore a sadhaka should be highly ambitious for Krishna. Highly ambitious to serve Vaishnavas better and better. Highly ambitious for Krishna. Because that high ambition, whether achieved or not, offers a very powerful hook for the mind to get riveted. And if the mind has got riveted, so much so that the sensual signals are not making an impact on the mind, that is the stage of stability. Perfect stage one can achieve that. So that's why Prabhupada, in purport to 66, Prabhupada says, therefore what happens is that Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition. So this peace means stability. Waves are coming, but they are not affected. And that is why this section which is going on, if you see the broadly, this particular section which is going on is a section of the characteristics of a Siddhavir Muni. Siddha Pragya. Siddha Pragya means that kind of stability. That okay, waves are coming, going, the rock remains as it is. It's rock. So that's what in 66 the key point was that when there is mercy, there is hierarchy, then intelligence becomes very strong and fixed. So the intelligence becomes like a rock and you become rooted and nobody can shift. So easily. Because it is not gathering roots actually. So the same thing is being explained in 67 further. So mind requires very powerful hooks actually. And we have to see that the thinking, feeling and willing proclivities or propensities should be completely occupied for some or the other engagement for the Lord. When that happens, we can experience liberation from sensual pushings and pulls. Text 68. Tasmadyasya mahavaho nirghritani sarvashah indriyarthebhya tasya prajna pratishtita. Therefore, O mighty young one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. One can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness or engaging all the senses in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As enemies are curbed by superior force, the senses are similarly can be curbed, not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. One who has understood this, that only by Krishna consciousness is one really established in intelligence, and that one should practice this art under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, is called a sadhaka or suitable candidate for liberation. So engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord is a suitability criteria which Prabhupada is mentioning. So when all the senses are engaged, actually, now what is the meaning of saying that all the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, or what is the effect of that? We see when all the senses are engaged, actually, mind starts getting engaged. And when the mind, the faculties of the mind of thinking, feeling and willing find sufficient engagement, then even if senses wander after that, it will not create much effect because the mind has got hooked. This is an important point, and that is a sadhaka. So this science has to be understood and practiced. But to engage the mind, a lot of sensual engagement is required. That is why we see it is important for a sadhaka to engage himself on various levels actually. Sometimes devotees feel that engagement should only be, say for example, mental or intellectual. Sometimes one may feel that okay, we are intellectual quotient is a little more. So let us have intellectual engagements. That's fine. But there is an aspect of incompleteness in that. Because it's very important that engagement has to be on all the fronts. Not just on intellectual fronts. Why? Because only intellectual means something is lacking. It's only one dimension. So just like intellectual engagement is important, just like mental engagement is important, similarly physical engagement is also important actually. So sometimes I am wondering, I have limited capacity and Kaluga Jeev, I cannot do much, my body does not have much strength and all. That's all fine and accepted. That is all fine and accepted. But the point is that if we do not offer physical engagement, because body requires physical engagements. And if we do not offer, the body will look for engagements in the sensual avenues actually. And that becomes very difficult. So therefore, sometimes it is very nice that the body is completely tired in service to Krishna. And that's what Prabhupada described the state, that the person is working hard, running around for Krishna, here, there, everywhere, there, like that. And he comes back to the temple and he just lies down and he's gone. One short circuit. He only wakes up when the temple cleaning in charge comes. There are 10 minutes remaining. So important. whatever be capacities, whatever be limitations, but there needs to be, full engagement according to our capacities. Yeah. So sometimes somebody will say, no, I am not much intellectual, I am only physical, I only need physical engagements, मुझे बस बता दो क्या करना है, क्या तोड़ना है, सब बता दो बस कर देंगे, बस यही है. So there is an incompleteness there also, because nobody is zero on any front, So here may be a profile of a devotee who is just physical and he likes a lot of physical engagements, not much intellectual. But the point is that when problem will come, whatever little bit intelligence there, that is also not processing, like that. Just like sometimes, okay, there is a calculator, but a calculator can do limited calculation. If it is a digital sci-fi calculator, it can do more calculation. If it is a computer, it can do much more calculations. Okay, one has a very basic calculator, but still some calculations one can do with that. And that itself can create stability in his life. So therefore, in a limited way, he should also do intellectual engagements, reading shastras, talking about Krishna, So this is the meaning of all around engagement actually. All the senses being engaged. This is the meaning. All the senses being engaged means all avenues engagement should be there. According to our full capacities. It does not matter whether our capacities on one front are higher and on the other front they are lower. That is not so important actually. And we do not have to worry about that. But what is important is that we should reach our fullness index. So when we reach our fullness index of engagements and we see that there is a big pile waiting, perfect situation for mind to get attached. All the thinking, feeling, willing will get unlimited avenue. So the limited in that way relates to the unlimited, the limited gets absorbed. In this fashion, one can handle the senses. Senses means always sinusoid. Sometimes they are not shouting and yelling, it's a trough. Very soon it will shout and yell. It's a crest. A trough. Crest and trough. Trough and crest. So we find that, okay, senses are not shouting, engage. And before next the senses shouting starts becoming intense, before that the mind should get into. That creates stability actually. Good senses are like that always. And that's why you see further when Krishna speaks. So this is we quote this verse very often. It's one of the metaphorical verses, or you can say off-quoted verses, Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagriti samyami yasyam jagriti bhutani sanisha pashyato muni. What is night for all living beings is the time of awakening for the self-control. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective stage. So we quoted many times externally, Okay, we wake up 4 o'clock, we go sleep at 4 o'clock, like that. That's fine. But this course, so what is night, what is day? Refers to interest of activities. So night means basically lack of interest. So any avenue where we have lack of interest, that's night actually. Just like say japa session, materialist will not be interested in that. It's night for me. Sense gratification, it's broad daytime for a materialist, like that. So you can say sense gratification, Say for example, woman, it's night for a devotee, One becomes very cautious. But self-realization, That's day for the devotee. Okay, Krishna Katha is going on. Wonderful. Let me jump. Seva is there. Wonderful. Festival is there. Wonderful. Camp is there. Wonderful. No? Community is there. Wonderful. No? It's day. Wonderful means day. Let us engage. So the interest areas to materialist different things stimulate. तो materialistic it is said, ना? बहुत पैसा है उधर, बहुत पैसा है ना? Get stimulated, ना? Just like if you tell materialist, okay, from materialist region, go to, Thai Brigade ground, Park Street, बोले क्या है वहां पे, ना? बहुत पैसा है, हाँ जाऊंगा, ना? Immediately, ना? Stay for it, ना? If you tell him वहां पे क्या है, फ्री प्रसाद है, ना? बहुत प्रसाद है, हाँ जाऊंगा, ना? ना? If you tell वहां पे भक्ति है, ना? It's nice for him, ना? For a devotee, he says, okay, प्रभु, go to Thai Brigade ground, Park Street, ना? जब वहां पे क्या है, ना? बहुत सेवा है, ना? दिन रात सेवा है ना? And devotee should get, जाऊंगा, ना? That should be the stimulating point. Okay, सेवा है, need है, yes. The service is there, need is there, ना? Like that, ना? Sangha is there, associate devotee is there, जाऊंगा, ना? Lord is there, ना? Krishna Katha is there. Many people will come. Preaching opportunity is there, I will go there. So as we become devotees, the stimulating factors, the motivating factors should change actually. It's day night. So okay, I do this, what do you get by that? A lot of enjoyment. Because for a devotee, enjoyment, they say. It's nice for him. It does come sometimes, evening. But it's okay, some opportunity to sacrifice is there. Some opportunity to extend yourself is there. You go beyond your limitations, whatever, your loops and frameworks and all that. That should be daylight for a devotee. So motivation and stimulating factors should change. A materialist will will come in a situation and see, okay, there are negativities in the situation and criticize, and blaspheme, the materialistic outlook actually. And devotee sees, okay, things are going wrong, and he says, okay, the things are wrong, I accept things are wrong, so let me endeavor to help set it right. Because it's wrong, because it's incomplete, I have some opportunity to set it right actually, to help in setting it right. So let me play that role. So that becomes a stimulating factor rather than a discouraging factor actually. So therefore, what is material, what is spiritual, is a game of what stimulates us, what motivates us. If we hook on to wrong motivations and wrong stimulations, यात्रा में जाएंगे, क्यों? बहुत मजा आएगा, ना? Wrong motivation, the right activity, wrong motivation, wrong stimulation. और फिर क्या होगा? Accommodation third class में लाए, वहीं पे temper down, ना? So we see stimulation actually is very important. So therefore, as a sadhaka, what should stimulate us? We need to change that actually. What should excite us? We need to change that actually, कल बहुत अच्छा दिन है, क्या है? कल कुछ सेवा नहीं है, पीस मारेंगे, 100% wrong stimulation, पर्सन से बस 2 दिन की बात है, क्या हो रहा है, क्या खत्म हो रहा है, ना? उसके बाद wrong stimulation actually. It's wrong stimulation. And because wrong stimulation, so if we accept wrong stimulation, or sometimes what happens is like sometimes you see cook, devotee cook or many times the mentality, many times you see statistically speaking, any time one big festival will come, he will push off home, So anytime, there's a lot of gathering, so many voices, so many books, and I have seen, wrong mentality actually. So क्या है, we understand कि फेस्टिवल बहुत होगा ना, लोड होने वाला है, भाग जाओ, लोड खत्म हो गया, सब खत्म हो गया, आ जाओ, Wrong stimulation actually. So similarly, as a sadhaka also, one should not practice clinging on to wrong stimulations. The activity will be right. But if you say wrong, so if we see stimulations as wrong, slowly those wrong stimulations will create wrong kind of thinking, feeling, winning patterns. And that way, the senses will get completely, the senses can go, the signals of the senses will get amplification unnecessarily. So what stimulates us has to be in the proper direction actually. When it comes to spiritual, the unlimited scene or the unlimited field should stimulate us, activate us. Just like in material, so this proclivity is Yanisha. This proclivity is there, but it is being utilized in the wrong direction actually. Just like say for example woman, any woman stimulates us, what a pathetic predicament, Any woman stimulates oneself, a man, Any woman. And person may be seeing unlimited women, you're seeing unlimited billboards, unlimited women, everyone stimulates, You see, this is called as Yanisha, 180 degrees poles apart. The unlimited of Krishna's service should stimulate us. Not the unlimited of the display of the illusions, of the illusory patterns of the material energy. So this is what is called as Yanisha actually. And this develops, positive stimulations develop by practice. Sometimes we may become mindless and we may be doing the activity of service. But we may be passing here and there some casual comments. But that becomes a way of thinking. And that may, take off our activities in due course of time. So when we get more service, overloaded service, we should feel grateful and happy. That bach gaye, Now senses will not have any scope for anything nonsense, So one should feel excited about it. That is what one should feel, that is what one should speak. And that's how one should see it as actually. This way one should practice to get the right stimulations. Because the stimulations for a materialist and a spiritualist are 180 degrees. This way, that way. So thus in this way, the Lord says that in the next verse, Apuryamana machala pratishtam Samudramapa pravashanti yadva Tadvat kama yam pravashanti sarve Sashanti mapnoti nakamakami. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Take 71. A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. Text 72. That is the way of spiritual and godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. If one is thus situated, even at the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So next class most probably we will have on 15th evening and 16th morning. 15th evening 8 p.m. and we will start with Bhagavad Gita third chapter. Right.